guys, welcome back. I am not going to even pretend I am not exhausted. And I needed to get this story out today while it's fresh in my mind and everything is still raw. And then I am going to just pass out. So, yesterday, my husband had the surgery. But there was a much bigger story going on behind the scenes that didn't unfold until today or yesterday, right before the surgery. Now, I came and I said that they were going about it very strangely. They gave him consents but didn't do any explaining. That's really kind of odd. And I didn't know why that all the secrecy. Well, today we found out. And right before the surgery, a whole bunch of people walked into my husband's room, and I'm talking a big group. And it was all of his doctors covering from, I guess, kidney down to his heart doctors, and there was multiple, and then the anesthesiologist, and they all came into his room together. Now, we didn't know there was going to be a meeting before the surgery, and that was kept a secret from us, and I don't know why, and I'm not even going to question it, but that is what happened. So apparently there was a disagreement. The anesthesiologists, they didn't want to do the surgery. We didn't even realize how high risk this was. And they wanted to make sure my husband completely understood he may not be walking away from this off the table. And I'm really happy that I didn't know the gravity of the situation, because I probably would have agreed with the anesthesiologist who just absolutely didn't want to do this. So the biggest fear was that my husband did not have the ability to lay down. His cardiac output was so bad that if he laid down, he coded, and he did that twice. And it was a direct response to laying flat. The anesthesiologist did not want to do this. But the cardiologist who was performing the surgery was convinced that in the condition that he was in, he was going to be okay. They made sure there was, first of all, he had full anesthesia. There was no conscious sedation for this. They put in more lines in him. He said he had IVs going everywhere, and that he didn't have the day before. They just put it in. They had people in the OR from all walks of the hospital, from respiratory therapists and the whole code team, and you name it. And they brought in everybody for this. Everybody. Completely convinced that he wasn't making it off the table. And they wanted him to know without any doubt what their fears were. In fact, right before they went into surgery, they all agreed to take a look at another echocardiogram. So right before he went into surgery, they brought the echo machine, and while they were doing the echo, all the doctors watched exactly what his heart was doing. And they finally said to him, "What is your answer? Do you want this?" And my husband said yes. And they didn't even call me. They asked him, and he made the decision completely on his own. Then, as they were getting him ready and prepping, each doctor came up to him individually, like a secret, and said, "Listen, you could tell me. Are there any doubts? Do you have any reservations about this? Speak now." And every single doctor did it on their own, just because they felt like they wanted their fears to be alleviated, or maybe guilt in case he didn't survive this, that it really was out of their hands and that he wanted this. So he did not have the conscious sedation. They did completely intubate him under general anesthesia. I, not knowing that this was happening, spoke to him about 11 o'clock this morning. The surgery was at 1. And I had not slept the whole night. and that's very usual for me. But I made sure I stayed up in the morning to speak to him and, you know, see how he was mentally handling this. And he woke up this morning, he said, I feel good. I feel stronger than I felt in weeks. Let's do this. And I was like, okay, you know, I'm going to sleep. Now, I had full intentions of knocking. There really wasn't even a question because he couldn't live the way he was. And this was his best shot at a normal life. So they proceeded with the surgery with everybody in the room. It didn't take as long as they said it was going to take. In fact, thank you to all the nurses. Okay, I have to just go back and say thank you, thank you, thank you to all the nurses that piped up in my comment section today. Every one of you. And everybody. All the prayers. I don't know how I could have gotten through this without you guys. Really, I can't even explain it, that my brain would have popped. And especially today when I was going through those first couple of hours that before the surgery, when people were making so many comments and I got engaged in conversation and just everybody said the right thing. Nobody said anything that made me feel anything but just total support. There was one nurse that that stood out to me. And she actually went medical and was like, well, this is what they're going to do. And she didn't use layman's terms. She used medical speak. And I needed that. I really needed somebody to speak to me like a professional so that I can separate my family brain from like a professional viewpoint. And I needed to hear it, what was going to happen, not what they usually tell the families is going to happen. That helped me a lot because it explained a lot of things that my husband was trying to tell me, but it didn't. My husband explaining it to me doesn't work. Just, he gets confused. So he had the surgery, and I had done what I intended to do. It was in God's hands. There was nothing I could do at the point of the surgery except drive myself crazy. So I waited until he was gonna, about 11 o'clock when he called me and he said he was okay and we said, I love you. And I took an Ambien and I went to sleep because I already felt at that point that I had a headache. It was probably my blood pressure, even though I took my blood pressure pills. I didn't even want to take my blood pressure myself, but I know when my blood pressure is high or has having like a breakthrough because I am on lisinopril, but I could feel it when, like, behind my eyes when it goes a little bit too high. And I felt that this morning, so I knew had I been awake any further, I was just gonna pop. And so I woke up, the next thing I woke up to my husband calling on the phone, and he was talking to me like normal, like, oh, I just got up and I just walked and this, and I was like, wait a minute, what about the surgery? And he's like, yeah, no, I'm back in my old room. He's not even in the CCU. As far as he knows, the surgery went fine. He said he was in the middle of a sentence and then he remembers waking up in the recovery room. And that's all he knows about it. So right now, I haven't talked to anybody except his primary nurse tonight, and she said he was doing fine. He is awake. That's who just called me on the phone and interrupted my story about this. It was him saying that he just like didn't feel like going to sleep, and I, on the other hand, feel like I could sleep for a week. I got enough sleep today, but it wasn't enough. I need to sleep peacefully, not on the Ambien, and just in a really, really deep sleep tonight. But he's doing really good. He's on the oxygen, but that's because they're making him be on the oxygen. He told me today he walked after the surgery and he didn't have the heaviness in his chest he's had for 20 years. I was like, wow. He goes, I immediately felt the difference. And I was like, are you serious? I haven't ever heard him say that because he's been in AFib, AFib, a flutter for 20 years. I mean, he's never not been for me. Well, except when he was young. I'm so used to him being sick and that being the normal. Like, put it to you this way. My husband's EKG is so bad that he carries a copy of it in his wallet so that if he ever had to go to the hospital, they would believe him when they got him on the monitor. Like, they had to be able to see it to believe it. And that's how bad his EKG was. It had its own rhythm. And that was just life for us. That's, I would always just make allowances. He has to stop, catch his breath. He's worked all these years. He's lived, a regular life, but we just make allowances for, in sickness and in health. Okay, so we walk in the mall a little bit slower than everybody else. We can't run a marathon. We just live within the means of what, and that's our life as being normal. I don't know what it's like to have a husband that doesn't have to sit down for 20 minutes for walking from the car to into the house because it's just normal for him to have to sit down for so long. So he said this is the first time in 20 years that he hasn't had that heaviness in his chest after walking, which right there just said, wow, I that is better than what I ever thought it was going to be. And I have a feeling that he's in rhythm, which would be really strange. If he's in regular rhythm, that is abnormal. Like, that is weird to me to have him be in regular sinus rhythm. So there's going to be a lot of changes in our life. Made a lot of deals with the devil. You know, if you give him back to me, I promise we'll never eat another salty chip again. We'll do. I have every intention of keeping to every one of my promises, and we're going to do some lifestyle changes. And lifestyle changes being sedentary because he was sick. We had no choice. So, and COVID didn't help because he used to work and get out of the house, and then COVID struck, and we became like couch potatoes. And that's not healthy, and that's not good. Unfortunately, it was like that for everyone. I'm not just saying, just me. Everybody had that. That's my report on him. What happens tomorrow happens tomorrow. And I would sound more excited if I wasn't so darn wiped out. Like, I need a vacation in the worst way. This has been a hell of a 2-month ride. And the one promising thing is today they brought in a dietitian. And that is usually discharge planning. They don't usually bring a dietitian in until they say you're going to need one at home. But we already have plans in motion. We're going to be joining like a kidney group, like a clinic type of thing where they give you your diet. They put you on a whole regimen. We have that all. I'm on top of it. Put it to you that way. I am on top of it. And whatever support he needs, if he's got to go on the kidney diet, so do I. I'm not going to eat foods that I'm allowed to eat in front of him, except for avocado. He's not allowed to eat avocado, and I can, and I'm not giving up my avocados. I just like them. So, I mean, he's never going to be able to drink soda. I am giving up my soda, too. I don't have to drink it either. It's bad for you anyway. It's not going to be so bad of a change. A lot more water. They did say a plant-based diet, not a protein-based diet or an animal-based diet. They want us on or him on plant-based, and I am more than willing to go to a plant-based diet. And I'm not talking vegetarian, because that's not a healthy thing to be when you got kidney disease, because you do need protein, animal protein. It's not a healthy disease, it's not healthy. Whatever he can eat, I can eat, and I will not eat foods that I know that he likes in front of him. And that's just the way it is. So, again, thank you for getting me through this. And it was you guys that really did get me through. You'll never know, no matter what I can teach you or say to pep you guys up, it'll never ever be equal to what you guys did for me. And that's that. And on a happy note, I got a note from Andy. The pencils are going to be ready on the 27th. Not for sale yet. They said the last pencil. I saw production. I have video of their production. I saw the pencils finished. Gorgeous. The set's going to be just beautiful. Different than all your other. Like, it's going to be different looking than your other pencils. So happy with the design on this. It's crazy. So remember, you guys helped design these pencils. It was your suggestions. I just put them into motion. But all those things that annoy you about pencils, I think we fixed. And when I tell you, you're going to be able to read the name off the pencil very easily. Like, very easily. It's the way we designed it, and I think you're going to be very happy. So he promised me the first set that rolls off the production is mine, and it's coming directly to me. And as soon as I get it, I will show you guys. It's going to be great. And I love you. Thank you. Thank you for the prayers, for the love, for the support. When I was in my lowest moment, you guys were there holding me. And I'm never, ever going to be able to make it up. But I will do my darndest, I promise. And with that, I will say I love you. God bless, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.